Region here on Thursday, April 12th of 2018 on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I appreciate it. Also on AM and FM radio, WJOB, and then also on the TuneIn app. So 6 places you can pick this up. So not that it's worth going to 6 places, but someday it will be. Let's take a look at some of the stuff going on around the Calumet region. You know, this story was picked up. I saw it on Fox News' website. Okay. And the Times and the Post and some of the other folks were all over this. But as far as you could tell, it's out of LaPorte County. And this guy had a job with the U.S. Postal Service, right? And it was kind of a temporary job. And he is delivering the mail. Now, if you guys know any mail guys or mail ladies, they have this, they track you now. They have, I don't know if it's GPS or they used to have trackers on the mailboxes, and they could tell where you're going I don't think it's on every mailbox, but it was on some of the mailboxes. I don't know how they track you now, but you got to keep a pace up. And when was the last time you tried to stop and have a 5-minute conversation with your mail lady or mailman? And it's very difficult to do because they're in a hurry. And the situation must have gotten to this guy who was a temporary dude in LaPorte County. And he, as far as they're putting together, he gave the like several thousand pieces of mail, like 11,000 pieces of mail to his buddy, and paid him $50 a bundle to go burn it in Michigan, right, at his place. Evidently, the buddy didn't do that, and he threw it in a ravine, and somehow these cops in Michigan found it, all right, and they were able to track this mail back to the guy in LaPorte. And here's what it says on Fox News. It says, a U.S. Postal Service mail carrier is accused of paying a man to throw away 11,000 pieces of mail and hiding another 6,000 pieces at his home. Now, it looks like I'm going to jail, says Chris Block, a 39-year-old man, reportedly said when first confronted by police. And Block was charged in the Port Circuit Court in Indiana with a felony for official misconduct and a misdemeanor for theft. And a warrant for his arrest has been issued. Now, in February 2017, the same month Block resigned from his job, a deputy with the Berrien County Sheriff's Office in Michigan found multiple tubs of standard undelivered mail in a ravine. I mean, tubs full of mail, okay? Authorities dug up the frozen mail bundles and transported them to the LaPorte post office. An estimated 11,000 pieces were recovered, court documents show. All right, so they did an investigation, and it shows that this Black guy was the mail carrier. Black told investigators the first time he gave up the mail to be destroyed, he was far behind delivering his route in a timely manner. So he told police he paid a buddy $50 a bundle to burn it up in Michigan, which is a play on words if you are an Ernest Hemingway fan, by the way. What's the name? Is that Up in Michigan? Is that the name of that story? I better be getting it right. Up in Michigan. Yes. And it is a story by Ernest Hemingway. And so Up in Michigan did not work out for Chris Block as if you're going to have a deal to do something dastardly, at least have a little honor among thieves and burn the mail. You know what I mean? Now, I do have a little bit of, I guess, experience in dumping things like this. As a young man, I was a paper boy, and I joke about dumping my Sun journals by the Little Cal. I did not do that, but I was well aware that many people did, and they dumped their Calumet presses and Sun journals that they were supposed to be delivering. They just took them down to the Little Cal, and they would dump them there, and you would see the bundles of the Calumet Press and the Sun Journal down at the river. But one time I took over a guy's Hammond Times paper route in Lansing and Munster. And I remember it had 226 homes on it. And it was a Sunday, so this paper was like carrying around a backpack, each one of them. So my buddy, Mark Porter, and I went out he said, hey, Porter spending the night, so he's going to help me deliver the papers. So I take, I don't know, maybe 30 of these Sunday papers on this big canvas sack hanging over your lemon crate bike or apple crate bike, Schwinn. And then you go and you take it up and you put it on the doorstep, and then you go to the next one. You got a little list in your hand. Not everybody got the times, but back then most people did get the times in both Lansing and Munster. So I'm coming around and I get to the end down by the river. And I look up on the kind of the walkway into the river, and I'm like, gosh, man, there's a bunch of papers just kind of laying there. So I get off my bike and I walk up there, and it's a bunch of papers. It's like a bunch of Times newspapers like I'm delivering. I'm like, wow, that's really weird. And then I drive back and I meet Porter at the corner, and I'm like, it starts to kind of come around. It sounds kind of fishy to me. Finally, I'm like, Porter, did you deliver your papers? Oh, yeah, I delivered them. I go, well, then what are all those papers up there doing on the bank of the little Cal? And he just started laughing and could not contain himself. So we went back there and we picked him up, and I wound up delivering the papers. But I could see the easy temptation of Mr. Porter to just dump those papers along the little Cal. And had I not just got, what a weird, like a shiny object out of the side of my eye, seen them, then all those people wouldn't have gotten their papers in the morning. Another thing is, I had the Calumet Press for a better part of 3 years. And every week we would send out, in the beginning it was 85,000 papers, but I shimmied it down to 50,000 papers every week. And we had hundreds of delivery people that would send, take these papers out. And every week I did this. So we had that thing for maybe, I think, 137 weeks we did the paper. So that was 137 issues. Every week someone would call in and say, hey, I see a big load of Calumet presses along Schoon Ditch or Hart Ditch or along up here on the Grand Calumet River. And are those yours or what happened? And it was hard. We didn't have a tracking system. And once in a while I would go out and I'd say, yeah, those are ours. There's, 250 papers sitting there. Sorry about that. A couple times I had to pick them up. Sometimes they were all strewn about already. It was impossible. But so I know that there is a temptation that when you have to deliver a bunch of stuff to just dump it. But if you're delivering the U.S. mail, that puts you into federal confines. And let's see what happens to Mr. Chris Block as we move forward. Hey, is Carson's out of business or not? Okay. The original missive we got out of the state of Indiana was that a warn notice was put in by Carson's in the Carson's in South Lake Mall was going to get ready to close. 137 people going to lose their jobs. And then I had a guy call on the air, and then I had another email from people that said, that's not entirely correct. We're being told at the store level that we're probably not going to lose our jobs. There's a very good possibility we might not lose our jobs. And now it comes out in the Times that there is an investor group that is stepping forward to perhaps buy Carson's either right out of bankruptcy or right before it goes into bankruptcy. It's unclear. So that South Lake Mall store may still stay open. It's scheduled to close on June 6th, 5th or something like that. And it doesn't, not in the discussion of closing is the Hammond store down here, which is really odd. If you look at the Hammond store down here, the Carson store, basically at Woodmar Mall, if you haven't been down here for a long time or you live in an outlying area or you're one of these people that watches this on the social media from used to live around here, basically the Carson store is still there. And all of Woodmar Mall has been cut away from it. It looks kind of ugly from the backside where there used to be a Walmart and now is a vacant building there. But in the south parking lot of Carson's is this massive building that is almost done. I think all of the shell of it is done, and they're working on the inside. And that is this sportsplex, this massive sportsplex that the city is putting up to, I guess the city's putting that up. I guess they're the owners of it, or I guess they're going to run it. So this, I guess, sports youth complex, lots of courts, lots of places to have huge tournaments. And so it looked kind of weird. You have this beautiful new building going up. And then right to the north of it, you have Carson's, which if you go in there, it's the same Carson's that it always was. And I go over there once in a while just to see what's on sale. You know, so I go over to the radio stations. It's right in the middle of our two radio stations here. And, you know, it's a beautiful store inside. It always has been. The women at the perfume counters, I swear some of them have been there 30 years. And it's got a good tradition, but it's cut off from its mall. And it's just kind of there. But evidently it still makes money or they wouldn't continue to have it. All right, I'm going to take a short break. On the other end of that, you guys want to call in? 219-845-1100. What's on your mind, huh?
John Salzader, Democratic candidate for North Township Advisory Board. You have heard me on these airways before talking about my family charity, its events, and the groups it supports. Now I've decided to run for your North Township Board. I am well qualified and ready to work for you. Elect John Salzader.
Approved and paid for by the committee to elect John Salzader.
JED's Garden Family Restaurant, located at the corner of Klein and Ridge, is Griffith's locally owned family restaurant with a down-home feel and made-from-scratch favorites you will love. Open daily from 5 a.m. to midnight, JED's has you covered with breakfast omelets, salads, stir-fry, seafood, and steak sandwiches. In addition to our award-winning lemon rice soup, 4 additional soups are served daily. Along with our recently expanded spirits menu, Mondays are half-price margaritas and Wednesdays are $1 off domestics. Mention WJOB for 20% off your order. We'll see you at JED's at the corner of Klein and Ridge.
Ogren Insurance has been serving the area since 1947 and provides insurance for life, home, auto, business, and more. If you're looking for one-on-one service, the best rates, knowledge, and experience, Ogren Insurance is your agency. Our number one goal is to provide you with the coverage you need at the most competitive price. To learn about the insurance solutions and services we offer in Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or see our website, OgrenInsurance.com. Ogren Insurance, 6929 Holman Avenue in Hammond. Accidents happen. Be protected with Ogren Insurance.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. Easy Clean is happy to announce their new location's grand opening at 1637 45th Street in Griffith. Open 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. Or stop by one of our 3 other locations in Highland, Cherville, and Lansing. Free vacuuming, carpet shampooer, air freshener, and towel with every wash. And it's fast, easy, convenient, safe, and gentle. Go to myeasyclean.com for more information.
Hey, go to easyclean.com today, man, and get I don't know, is there a, do they have coupons on the website? Is that what it is? Easyclean.com. It's right up here on the boulevard. What a great day to go get your car washed, huh? High of 71 degrees, 72 degrees. Now, partly sunny and nice, beautiful day. Right now, it's in the mid-50s, 55 degrees here at the Vac and Strantill Studios on the campus of New Dewporth West. Ironworkers Local 395, it's 55 degrees in Portage. And in Local 599 in Hambone here, it is also 55 degrees. What's going to happen, though, between, like, say, 3 and 7, it's going to go from, like, 72 degrees down into the upper 40s or right around 50. It's going to be one of those days if you walk into pizza at 4:30, you could come out and it's 10 degrees colder. And then if you sit in there long enough and come out 2 hours later, it's 15 or 18 degrees colder. So note that if you're going out to watch a high school softball game or any outdoor activity, your kid's soccer game or whatever, it's going to get kind of chilly. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be 72 degrees, and the kid's going to be leaving, and you're like, oh, here, take this jacket. And they're going to look at you and go, What are you, nuts? I'm not taking that. Look how warm it is out. And then right near the end of the game, they're going to come over and they're going to, hey, do you got that jacket? And you're going to go, high of 71 tomorrow, cloudy, a thunderstorm and breezy. And then Saturday, high 56, cooler with rain and drizzle. Weather brought to you by our good friends at CertifiedElectrician.com. I will have the honor of sitting with the electricians on Saturday night at the Heart Association Gala at Avalon Manor in Merrillville. Ryan Riethel is the driving force behind this year's Heart Gala. It's one of the biggest fundraisers in all of the region and Black Tie Affair. So we're one of the sponsors, and we're able to get up front and sit with the electricians. So I'll be hanging out with these guys the whole time. I don't know how, honestly. It was a little bit of a surprise to me when they invited us to move tables on Monday, because I'm a laborer, dude. It's all I ever was. I know how to operate a jackhammer. I know the laser. I know how to shovel. I know how to wind a hose, start the compressor in the morning. I know how to be the bottom man, and I don't want any 8th grade humor out of you people. I don't have any idea how to splice 2 wires together. But anyways, I'll be sitting with a bunch of electricians, and this weather forecast was brought to you by CertifiedElectrician.com. And in terms of weather, 290 or traffic, 294 around the city looks good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65. You know what? It's moving along pretty well. Watch yourself, Indianapolis Boulevard. Woo! It was rough yesterday. Let's talk to Big Rich, man. In 599 phone line.
Good morning, Jed.
Alakahanya Haramahanya Herashkimov. How you doing, Big Rich?
Doing well. I just got a chuckle, and then you crushed my dreams right away with a comment. Anyway,
it sounds like it's a dirty comment that shouldn't be on the radio, and I'm not getting it. And you can't tell me what it is, because then that would be bad.
No, it's your description of you being a laborer.
Oh, the being a bottom man?
That.
Here's what a bottom... Yeah. You know what a bottom man is, right? A bottom man is...
labor terms, no.
All right, so, they're going along the street, and they're cutting the street up because they got to put a sewer pipe down underneath the street, right? They got to replace the sewer pipe or put new sewer pipe. Could be it's, storm sewers, or it could be sanitary sewers, but either way, someone's got to be down in that hole pushing the pipes together as they come in. That's the bottom man. Now, the top man is the guy who's standing up on the pavement looking down at the bottom man. So you got a top man and a bottom man. And quite frankly, in some of these laborers things now, it's the bottom woman. So I don't know if that is necessarily an appropriate term. As a matter of fact, while we're talking about inappropriate laborers terms, they have this very long wired thing with on the end of it, it's got like a big cement piece on it. And you stick it in the concrete, and it vibrates the concrete. So it's called a vibrator. And that's just how it's always been called, and you can make the kind of jokes that you would want. I mean, there's also, I've laid pipe all over the region, which we could do that about. You know what? What did you call about? You got me on the wrong direction.
I was going to take your advice, say, to freeway. Went down Bishop Ford to the Meg Ryan and all the way to Comiscular Park. It was only 1 minute to go down once you get to around 35th Street. So it's early enough to save the money today.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that was it. I was just listening to
you. You got me in trouble by bottom man, top man, vibrator, laying pipe. I gotta go. You're gonna lead me down to the wrong path. What do you guys want to talk about? 219-845-1100. Yesterday from 6 until 8. And you can watch the replay of it by going to WJOB's Facebook page. The future sports broadcasters of tomorrow were here in the studio in my class doing their own radio shows. I've been coaching them for several months now, and now they're going into their final projects. They'll be going again on Monday and again on Wednesday from 6 to 8. 2 different groups, one from 6 to 7, one from 7 to 8. And then they'll have their final presentations in the following week on Monday and Wednesday. So you're more than welcome to watch that, but all you got to do is go to WJOB's Facebook page and look for JED 101 and watch those guys. Robert Aguirre, Jesse Smith, Edward Clark, Jake Hoban, Josh Salazar, and Jen Baker were all on yesterday. All right, let's go a little bit more of what some of the stuff's going on. You know, what do you do with this, by the way? Are we going to drop missiles on Syria? Does anybody even care about that? U.S. military officials are probably planning for a larger, more robust strike than the one U.S. ships launched in 2017 in response to the Syrian regime's use of chemical weapons. The strategic aim would be to raise the cost to Syrian President Bashar Assad. Get ready, Russia. Get ready, Russia. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do that. But that's something I don't even want to go into. I don't want to go into Facebook anymore. I don't want to go into Carson's. According to the Times, the IRS and Gary have finally come together on this rather large federal tax that was due to the IRS. The IRS has approved a settlement agreement with the Gary Community School Corporation, wiping clean more than $8 million the school district owed the federal government. Gary Emergency Manager Peggy Hinckley said she received a letter Monday from the IRS saying it was willing to settle the debt for $320,000, and the district has made the payment. So there you go. The Gary schools are out from under at least one cloud. I know they've got quite a bit more debt out there, but I don't know. Let's talk to a guy who lives in Gary now. Dave from Gary, how are you?
I just read that article yesterday. I'm very happy the federal government came in and bailed out School City of Gary. Now they could sell those properties, and some of them I've been riding around a lot lately, just trying to learn my new backyard. And I have to tell you, some of them are on some beautiful pieces of tree-lined pieces of property. And if they weren't in Gary, they'd be worth an absolute insane amount of money, right? But now they're just worth a little bit of money. But, you know, it's still, they sell the property and develop it. There's one piece of property. It's on 11th and Chase. Jed, it looks like a golf course without the holes. That's what it looks like. It's really nice.
11th and Chase.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
I don't know that one.
It's like 100 acres. I mean, it's a huge tree-lined piece of property. It looks like Wicker Park when it had all the trees but without the holes.
What about Edison? What's that, Edison? And that's on, what is that, on Fifth Avenue? And not Emerson. It's Edison. Let's see if you got.
That's right on Fifth. Yes, Fifth and Burr.
Yeah, like it seems Burr might be a little west, but maybe that is between Burr and Grant, but closer to Burr on 5th Street. It's on it's on the north side, and it's a massive complex. And I had gone there a number of times as a kid. As a guy down my street was a teacher there, and I went there with his kid, and we played basketball there, and it was a great facility. And I agree with you that, you know, I mean, at least that facility is an amazing facility. But I drove by it the other day, and all the windows have been knocked out, and
it's spray painted, and that is the fear that the residents of Miller have in regards to Ward Emerson. But if you ever looked at I mean, you've been there. If you ever look at the whole topography of Ward Emerson, it's like in a little valley. You know, you have the school on top of the hill that's on Grand, and then you have the parking lot, the football field, and the track down in a little valley. Let me tell you, if someone wanted to put some really nice condos there, that would be fantastic. But I gotta tell you, Dave. Have a different idea.
When is this supposed Gary Renaissance going to happen? Because I've heard this for many years. Like, oh my gosh, it's so cheap. You could just buy stuff up, and you can.
Depends where you're at, Jed.
Yeah, but here's the
It
thing.
depends where you're looking.
I've got a realtor that's telling me now that quietly, national or people from out of town are coming in and buying up huge swaths of homes in Gary.
Yes, they are.
And they're renting them out because they can get a huge return on you can get a home for 10 grand and you can rent it for $800 a month. I mean, come on. How much?
Even a little more than that.
Yes, you know what I mean? And so if that's the case, when does that Gary start to see some improvement from that investment? Or are these people just coming in and being slumlords?
Well, that's the first thing, and that very well could be happening. It has been happening over the last 10 to 15 years, but slowly. And it's the whole, if a tree falls in the forest, and if there's nobody there to listen to it, you're going to hear anything. But it's slowly, a lot of outside money, a lot of Chicago money has been coming in and purchasing big pieces of property, like you said, in a house in the Miller area. Every other house has an Illinois plate in front of it. At least for a while. Then I call and turn them in, and because so we get a little tax revenue out of them. But yeah, it's a big deal. And
one day we're gonna turn around and say, man, everybody in the region's gonna say, gosh, I wish I would have bought some stuff in Gary.
Well, what?
A year ago, because it's doubled.
What's the one saving grace that Gary has, and it's that lakefront. The whole Marquette plant, where a lot of other communities don't have that much of a lakefront. You're looking over a quarter mile of lakefront, and it's actually a hair more than a quarter mile of lakefront. And that's one of the. Kathy and I, we could have went anywhere. Right, but we chose to stay in Lake County, in the region, for her work and my work, and we both like the water, so it's a common denominator.
So welcome to Gary.
That's where we went.
All right, man.
Yeah, well,
hey, thanks for your call. I'm going to go on. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got it.
Talk to you. 219-845-1100. See how April's doing. April.
Good morning, Jed.
This is your month.
Yes, it is.
And you know what? It's a month of differing types of weather within just a few days. You know what I mean?
Yes, unfortunately, but it should get warm one of these days and stay that way, hopefully. But...
Hope springs eternal. Hey, what's going on?
I just have a local issue. I wish people would start paying more attention to trash, because on my street, I live very near the radio station, but I can't believe that none of the other homeowners see trash, that people throw out of the cars or they drop when they're walking down a sidewalk, which I wish people would not do, but they do. I don't understand it, but I just wish someone else would care, because I don't want this place to look like some areas in Chicago with all the trash that just lays there for years and no one ever picks it up.
Where's it coming from?
I think it's people walking and people tossing out of the cars. And it's random stuff like shoe boxes and water bottles and, old checks and just stuff.
And McDonald's wrappers.
Oh, yes, a lot of those, a lot of receipts, Wendy's.
Coke cans,
beer bottles, energy drink bottles.
Clothes. Sometimes you see a few pieces of clothes on the ground.
That's true.
Gloves,
socks, underwear, just.
Yeah, it's like, what is this underwear doing? And what is it? Somebody's driving around and all of a sudden they got really hot and they took their underwear off, or what's going on? Why is the underwear? So
I can find a whole bag of trash just this past week. Someone just tossed. I don't know if they're walking or driving, but it was on the ground. Whole bag of trash from papers from the year 2000 in it.
All right,
so it was deliberate.
So do you think this is something that's been going on for a while, or April, since you would have an understanding of what happens here in April? It's like your house. Your house, I don't know, but after a while, I just want to get out and clean my garage, but it's been so cold, I just haven't done it. And then, you want to open up all your windows and you want to clean every room and you want to throw a bunch of crap out. You do your spring cleaning, right?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what's going on right now, and that it's still been so cold? People just in the city and everybody else, we haven't gotten together to clean up the trash that you're seeing, and that
No,
maybe in a month from now, a lot of that stuff will be gone, or is there another something going on?
No, I think people just don't care in general, because it wasn't like this about 2 years ago, but now I'm seeing an increase of trash just up and down the block, up and down the street.
So what do we do about it?
I think part of the problem is that I know on my street the driveways alternate, so half the houses have a driveway in the front, the other half have driveways in the alley. So the people who have an alley driveway don't necessarily go out of their front doors very often, so they might not see trash, but they should start going out the front door to see what's accumulating in their yard.
Take pride in your property.
Exactly, take pride in the property, because it brings down everyone's values when it becomes to look like a trash dump.
So you're living in Hammond.
I live in Hammond.
So, you know, you have a whole bunch of code enforcement people. Randy Vale's over there, and all these, Tom Vale is up in code enforcement. I mean, are any of these people getting to a point where they needed to be reported?
Actually, I did make a complaint not too long ago.
All right. Well, that's how this works. Government works. And I want to say that, doesn't Hammond have an app or something, or you can dial on your phone and report when people aren't, living up to codes? And that is one avenue that you have. People don't mow their lawn or whatever.
Yes, I did use that. It was
You know what? I will tell you this, April.
Click Fix.
What is it?
Click Fix.
Okay. I will tell you this. We have the radio station over there by Smith Chevrolet, and right behind it, we're kind of surrounded by Smith Chevrolet and Acorn Fence and so forth. And we haven't been over there in a while. And they've been very, very good neighbors, and they haven't said anything. But I was over there the other day, and my brother and I were just kind of cleaning up a little bit, and I'm like, man, these guys didn't say anything. This place looks nasty. People have been throwing junk around here. And we just went up and cleaned up everything and mowed the lawn and everything. And I realized that I am a little bit of that person that you're talking about, and that we haven't been keeping it up as perhaps we should. So, point well taken, April.
But I just want homeowners to start going out of the front doors and looking. And for people who are driving by, walking by, don't throw the trash on the ground. But the earth is not a trash dump. Put it in a trash can. That's what trash cans are for. Keep it in the car till you get to a trash can, or keep it in your car till you get home. But don't toss it on the ground for somebody else to have to go and pick up.
Thanks a lot, April.
Thank you, Jed.
We'll talk to you. April's got a point. All right. When was the last time you threw something out of your car as you were driving? Huh? Come on. Anybody want to admit to that? I did it the other day. I got to tell you, I did it the other day. I had a piece of gum in my mouth, and I wanted to get rid of my gum. I'm driving down a residential street. I pull the gum out of my mouth, pull down the window, and I throw it out the window. And I realized, the guy was standing in his front yard, and he's like, dude, it doesn't matter what you threw in my yard, how small it might be, but you just threw your gum in my yard. I mean, how disrespectful is that? And I realized, you know what? That won't happen again. Come on, somebody fess up. Has anybody rolled their window down and thrown garbage out of your window? I remember back in the day, they had this huge anti-littering campaign. Remember the Native American Indian guy that was standing alongside the road, and somebody threw a bag of garbage as they were driving by? It was a commercial that was a famous commercial. Can you find this commercial? If Jimmy Mulaney's good at finding anything, find the commercial where the Indian guy in the late 70s or early 80s is standing there, and it was like an anti-littering campaign. You've seen that one? And then it's such a great commercial, because then it shows the garbage being thrown at his feet, and then it shows the tear coming down his eye, and it just makes you never want to throw garbage. Dave, you're driving. How bad is traffic?
Well, there's a one-car accident northbound on I-65 right when you go over 8094. So that the cars, this is about the time that the cars are lined where I-65 pees into 20. It's just south of 15th. There's a one-car accident. He's into the wall head-on, and half of his car is stuck in the far left-hand lane. So this is the time that the guys going to U.S. Steel, they're usually backed up about a half mile to turn there. So if you're going north on I-65, north of 8094, get in the right-hand lane. There was no first responders there yet. He was standing outside his vehicle, and he appeared to be okay, but his car was like totaled up to the windshield. I don't know how he did it. Hit the center wall. So north on I-65, just north of 8094, get in the right-hand lane because there's a really bad one-car accident. But again, he's standing outside of it, and he appears to be okay.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, Dave.
Back up quick.
You got it. I'm looking at it right now. Thank you. We're looking at it on I-65, and I don't see it quite yet. So I think what happens is these traffic places have monitors of our feed, and someone will have heard that, and that'll show up on these computerized models right now. But as of now, I don't see a backup where he's talking about on northbound I-65. Let's take a phone call. Jim, how are you?
Good.
What's happening? Yep.
Yeah, I was just listening, and you were talking about that iconic ad from back in the 70s with the Native American and the pollution.
Mm-hmm.
And I read something recently. The actor that portrayed that Indian with the tear was actually like an Italian guy who played a lot of iconic roles in old kind of spaghetti westerns that were brought, on in the movies way back. And it just this commercial was so iconic. And then we find out he's an Italian guy from New York City or something, and he's the memory that you have of those pollution commercials. This guy's face comes to mind when you think about that. But it just
he wasn't even an Indian.
No, he was. Again, I can't remember the name. It was something. He had a screen name, something like the guy that played Tonto in the Lone Ranger. That guy's name was Silver Heels or something. But this guy, you'd have to look it up. I can't remember. It just, when you mentioned the ad, it clicked in my brain. I remember seeing this a few years ago.
Okay, hold on a second.
He wasn't even a Native American.
Here it is. He died in 1999. And you know what? You've just ruined my childhood illusions.
Sorry, man.
His name was Iron Eyes Cody.
Yeah.
And he was an Italian-American actor. He portrayed Native Americans in Hollywood films. He played a Native American shedding a tear about litter in one of the country's most well-known television.
It was a spectacularly effective ad. But
Keep America Beautiful in 1996. God, that was that. I thought it was earlier, but I guess not. So it was 1996. Cody's half-sister said that he was of Italian ancestry, but he denied it.
Sorry to shatter your dreams, Jim.
All right, man, we're going to play it right now. Thanks a lot. Talk to you. All right, guys, let's play this spot. If you guys you'll be able to hear the audio of it on the radio, and if you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, you'll be able to see the video. And then I'll be right back on the Voice and Face of the Region. An Indian rowing his boat amongst trash.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
On May 8th, vote for Democrat Andrew Silvestrowitz for Lake County Clerk of Circuit Courts. Andrew is a qualified Democrat and has 12 years of experience as a councilman in Maryville at every facet of government. Make your vote count with Andrew Silvestrowitz for Clerk of Circuit Courts. Paid for by Committee to Elect Democrat Andrew Silvestrowitz.
I am Andrew Silvestrowitz, and I approve this message. Men, are you taking Viagra or Cialis for ED? ED should not stand for expensive drugs. If you're taking Viagra, talk with your doctor about sildenafil. Now you could get the same active ingredient in Viagra in generic 20 milligram tablets for less than $2 each, saving over $30 per dose. Available at Vito's Pharmacy. Call us 219-228-7200 or visit us at vitospharmacy.com.
Vito's Pharmacy. John Salzader, candidate for North Township Advisory Board. I am fully qualified, experienced, and will bring a new face and new vision to your township government. Elect John Salzader, Salzeider, on May 8th, Democrat.
Approved and paid for by the committee to elect John Salzider.
Save the date, April 19th, for the 2018 Fair Housing Act's 50th anniversary celebration and awards reception being held at the Center for Visual and Performing Arts in Munster from 3 to 8 p.m. At 3 p.m., there will be a continuing education class. From 5 to 6:30 p.m., enjoy a cocktail reception, and 6:30 to 8 p.m., program and awards. Tickets in advance are $35 or $45 at the door. A portion will go to NWIRA programs. That's April 19th from 3 to 8 p.m. Hosted by Lake County Housing Task Force and Bankers Community Council of NWIRA.
Hey, what's going on? Let's take a look at traffic. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford, a little bit tight at the merge. But you know what? Just go to the freeway as Big Rich did, and I saved the money today. Why not? And that could get bad in a hurry, but right now it's not. Skyway Toll Road look good. Borman looks good. US 30 looks good. Indianapolis Boulevard, of course, through Highland. Try to stay away from there at all hours, because it gets pretty bad. And even if you get through there, it's real tight on top of that bridge between Meyer and Webb Ford. And you know what? As we speak, you're getting a little bit of static on the line on 294 right after Cicero for just a few miles. So allow an extra 5 to 7 minutes up to O'Hare. The problem that Dave from Gary called in northbound on I-65, I don't see it on the graph here, so he was worried that there was an accident there that was going to start backing things up. It hasn't quite done that yet. And traffic brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda, proudly serving Northwest Indiana with superior customer service. Let's take a look at the weather. Beautiful day, and I don't know about you guys, I'm starting to feel it. I was driving around on Monday, and I stopped at Baxter Printing and hung out with Dave and Jeff Tarosi and the rest of their family. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I just remember coming out there, sitting out front on Ridge Road there near Ridge and Klein with Tarosi, and we're talking. And outside of the fact that I just, hung out with a good family, a good region family that's just trying to make a buck, I realized, I'm in a good mood, and I can't figure out why. Well, it was 48 degrees and sunny. And it gets into your soul. Well, you're going to have a lot of soul searching today. Partly sunny and nice and a high of 72. It's 55 right now here at the Strachan Van Til Studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest. And it is 54 in Maryville, where Local 695 and Certified Electrician are. And then in Munster, it is 55 degrees where Local 41 is. And tomorrow, high of 71, but some clouds come in. Today's your beautiful day. Then by Sunday, winter is here. Over Sunday evening, possible snow, some showers, and it gets into the 20s. Monday morning, when I'm standing out on Indianapolis Boulevard yelling at big trucks, we're talking about it being in the 20s again. So winter, spring, summer, fall. All you have to do is call. And it'll be here in the region. Yes, it will in 1 week in April. Hey, 649 in the Calumet region. That weathercast was brought to you by Laborers Local 41, of which I am a proud alum. And you know what? Every once in a while, Ryan says, I don't want any guests today. I just want you to just hang out with people for a day, Jed, and let's just all take a deep breath. We may be going to war with Russia and Syria. The president may be involved in a massive cover-up. Facebook may be peering into every aspect of our lives and then selling us down the road. So every once in a while, we just got to hang out. You know what I mean? And we got to just talk about things that are going on around here. And I don't want to hold hands because I'm not really into that kind of intimacy, and I don't even want to hypothetically hold hands with you. I just want to hang out on the radio. It's a simple relationship. We can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. Just don't get too close to me, and I won't get too close to you. How's that sound? Let's go to Omar on line 599. Omar, what are you doing today?
Well, I'm not going to get close to you. I'll tell you that now.
Okay, good, because now we're both on the same page.
That's exactly. We're two construction guys that are not going to be holding hands or listen to Barry Manilow as we're working. We're not going to do that stuff.
Bette Midler, baby.
Anyway, I called to let you know that have you seen the latest tweet of the president this morning?
You know what? Normally these guys are keeping up on it. Ryan, and can you put it up on the screen, the latest tweet? What is it?
He's saying that he never said he was going to bomb Syria.
Really? So we have a retraction.
Oh, yeah, and I can't understand. Okay, I understand he has to say what he has to say and do what he has to do. He's our president. But if you're threatening to bomb a country and threatening Russia to say, if you do something to us, we're going to do something to you, then the very next day go like, hey, I never said I was going to bomb you guys. I think we're losing a lot of credibility here. So I don't know if you had seen it or not. I know you didn't mention that, so I called. Well, I really called to tell you about the Native American being an Italian guy because I had seen the same thing program that man had seen, which blew my mind.
All right, hold on. They just put it up on the screen. Here it is. Never said when an attack on Syria would take place. Could be very soon or not so soon at all. In any event, the United States, under my administration, has done a great job of ridding the region of ISIS. Where is our thank you, America?
Yeah.
Does that sound like a person who thinks cogently? I mean, doesn't it sound like somebody who's like, if that guy was at the end of the bar telling you that exact sentence conglomeration, you would like move away because you're like, oh great, I got a whack job over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But now it's our president and it's accepted.
Well, it's the norm is not like they always say, expect the unexpected. This is the norm. Expect the unexpected with him. He'll say something, then wait either a couple of hours or a day or two, and he'll change. So all these crises that he builds up to, then he just says, okay, forget about it or whatnot. I don't know if he does. That's his personality or what. But it seems like every day or every other day, America's like in a crisis mode with the world, and then it's just like tapers off. It's like what they call a news cycle. It goes home every 3 or 4 days. Something news popping up.
Something else. It's part of the reason I want to start doing this JED in America is kind of slow things down and say, all right, where are we? Because I think what happens is the news cycle is perpetuated by media that gets paid for accelerating it and making it more interesting and more frantic than it really is sometimes. And you almost got to slow it down, but you really don't have that option.
Well, I believe in the media and I believe in the free press. I believe you guys as in the media have an obligation to tell us what's going on. But there's some news sources or broadcasts or whatnot that they overhype it to get ratings or whatnot. And you don't do that. You keep it simple. You tell us, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is my opinion. What do you guys think? And instead of bombarding us with, okay, this is what I think it should be, And that's what we got to be thankful that we have a radio station like yours. And let's talk and let everybody else, MX and Mad Mac and Fernando and the rest of us, give our opinion. And then we kind of more or less sort it out. And then if we change somebody's mind, fine. If you don't, well, you don't. But at least we have an idea of what's going on. Like they say, you get a word here, a word there, and all of a sudden you get a sentence. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, speaking of free speech and so forth, and when was the last time you threw something out of the your car while you were driving? Come on, be honest.
I want to be the honest to tell you the God honest truth. It had been maybe over a year ago, and that happened the same thing as you, a piece of gum I had to throw out. I try to keep my car clean, and my mom always taught us, don't throw trash out. She even taught us, like one time we had tissue paper, and we were trying to find a place to throw it. My mom goes, put it in your pocket. And we just looked at her. She goes, put it in your pocket. When you get home, you take it out, put it in the trash. She goes, you don't throw it here. We were at a store, so.
Did your mom ever make you blow your nose in your own shirt?
Oh, heck no. She goes, hell, no, you get a tissue paper. Hey, you better find one, too.
All right, man.
I don't care where you're at, find one. All right.
Talk to you.
Buddy.
I mean,
Bye-bye.
Is that bad? I mean, like say if you don't have any tissue and you're somewhere if you take your shirt out of the left side over here, and it's a t-shirt, and it'll come up, you just blow your nose in it and then tuck it back in. I'm sorry. Ah! You know what? What's on your guys' mind? I was going to talk about fat shaving. Did you guys see this? Can you find this video? The woman, Vega Blossom, works at Starbucks. She is a Starbucks barista. Well, I'll talk about it. You need to find this video. More than it's got about 30,000 views, and I want to see it. All right, and it's right here. Take it. You guys get it, and it's out of Valparaiso. But we'll get to that in just a second. Let's go to Tech on line 2. Tech, what are you doing today?
I'm heading to work. I was going to tell you, I would pile my garbage up to the ceiling in my car before I throw something out. The only thing I would throw out, possibly, once in a great while, if I'm eating an apple or, a banana peel and I'm on like a 2-lane road where there's side, where there's brush, I might throw something out that, a squirrel might take. But I will go tooth and nail before I throw something out the window in terms of garbage.
Banana peel.
Banana peel, apple. But you know what? My dad told me, he grew up in Whiting back in the day. It was custom to just, let's just say you went for ice cream and you had a wrapper, you went down with the mom and dad. It was customary just to throw it on the ground because they had garbage sweepers at the time, and they would pick it up. So they didn't really have garbage cans. They had people in the city that walked around the town or the strip of 119th, and they would pick up garbage. I was floored. My dad told me that. You ever heard that?
I know that the part of the reason that we had to have the anti-littering campaign in the, like, say, the 70s through the 90s was that people did throw their garbage out on just wherever they were in a lot of places. You know what I mean? I didn't know. I mean, I always thought it was universally kind of rejected as something to do, but we all did it. I never really thought of it in like 119th, just throw your ice cream down and somebody will come by and pick it up.
Right. And you know what? I'll admit to it. I know Big Rich, and we were out with another buddy last week at Docks, and we were talking about, one of the guys mentioned about how some parts in the ocean, like on the East Coast where they dump garbage, animals like whales and, are dying because they're eating this garbage. And, as much as we want to throw garbage, in a receptacle, where does it go? And now we're making so much garbage now, it's going in places where, natural habitats and, animals in those ecosystems are suffering from it.
All right. I got an idea. Thanks a lot for calling in, Tech. Talk to you. Ryan, we got phone calls? 219-845-1100. There was an article the other day in the Wall Street Journal. Did you guys see this? If you're a Wall Street Journal person, they had an article about the one tradition at the Chicago Board of Trade and Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and that is that you can throw your garbage on the floor. Now, has anybody ever seen this? Mad Mac will attest to this. Toll Road Tom. There's dozens of people that worked on the floor, the trading floors at one time or another. And the thing, when I was working at WJOB in the mid-'80s, right after that, I got a job. I'm like, man, Colby won't pay me any money, so I got a PR job in Chicago. And I wore a suit every day, and I was making decent money for the time. I was probably making about, what these guys here are making now, 30 years later. But, I was making okay money, but I really didn't like the work. I wanted something a little juicier. So I would go walk around the city at lunchtime. And one day I walked into the visitors deck at the Chicago Board of Trade. And it's almost impossible. I can still remember the day. It was a summer day, and I had walked in there, and I knew a couple buddies that worked there, and they had told me about it. And they said, "Man, you should see this place. Everybody walks around, and if you have garbage in your pocket, instead of going to the garbage can and putting it in the garbage can, you just throw it on the ground. If you write something on a card or something and you're done with it, you throw it on the ground. If you have a water bottle, you throw it on the ground. Everything goes on the ground. You got gum, put it in a piece of paper, push it together, throw it on the ground. And then people just come around all cleaning up, kind of like what he's talking about on 119th Street. So they did an article about it on the front page of the Wall Street Journal yesterday, that's like the biggest legacy of the Board of Trade, is that you could throw your garbage on the ground. Anyways, I don't know why I brought that up. All right, guys, I'll be right back. We're going to talk about the fat shaming incident in Valparaiso, or anything else you want to talk about. You are welcome to call me. It's just you and me today. Ryan said no guests today. I just want Jed to sit and talk, or wants me to kind of just talk with you guys. So that's what we're doing. Be right back.
Rush Radiosurgery deploys revolutionary technology in the fight against prostate cancer in just 5 outpatient treatments. With radiosurgery treatment for prostate cancer, there is no pain, no surgery, and you can go back to your normal activities right after treatment. Prostate cancer does not fight fair, and neither should you. For more information, contact Rush Radiosurgery at 312-942-4600 or visit us at rushradiosurgery.com.
No case is typical. Results will vary by patient, and there's no guarantee other patients will experience these results. Fill your garage with your dream car during the Honda Dream Garage Spring event going on now at Napleton's River Oaks Honda. They're Northwest Indiana's destination for new and certified pre-owned Hondas. Napleton's River Oaks Honda has a huge selection of brand new and certified pre-owned Civics, Accords, CRVs, and Pilots. Come find out why you always get our best deal at River Oaks Honda. As always, Indiana residents pay Indiana sales tax right off 8094 on Torrance Avenue or online at riveroakshonda.com.
Napleton, second to none since 1931.
John Salzader, Democratic candidate for North Township Advisory Board. You have heard me on these airways before talking about my family charity, its events, and the groups it supports. Now I've decided to run for your North Township Board. I am well qualified and ready to work for you. Elect John Salzader.
Approved and paid for by the committee to elect John Salzader.
Do you have a family history of heart disease or diabetes? St. Catherine Hospital Cardiovascular Prevention Center providers are offering free assessments to help determine your risk for heart disease and other related medical conditions. On Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 11:30 a.m., you can stop by the center at 7217 Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond for assessments like an ABI leg circulation test, blood pressure, body mass index, random glucose assessment, and more. You must be 18 or older, and walk-ins are welcome. You have only one body. Let St. Catherine Hospital of Community Healthcare System help you take care of it. You can also call 219-392-7CVP to book an appointment today.
I want to be like the pretty people on my TV.
Now you can.
All I need are gleaming white teeth.
We can help you.
Can you find the right dentist for me?
Dr. Andy Coulteritis, he does cosmetic dental.
Will he hurt me?
No, he's gentle.
I'm terrified of pain.
He's the kindest in the land.
He sounds great. Could you repeat his name?
Dr. Andy Coulteritis, 219-836-1111.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Hey, taking a look at traffic, 294 around the city is a little bit dicey from Cicero on up to the Stevenson. I don't know, a few minutes extra up to O'Hare. 80 going east and west of Joliet. That's a breeze. Bishop Ford's been worse. I mean, you do have some slowness as you get into the merge area, but it's certainly not that bad today. I'm surprised. And as you approach Jane Byrne in downtown, I mean, it's certainly been worse. Things are moving better than normal in both of those areas. And then also Skyway Toll Road, Borman I-65, US 30 and Klein Avenue. I don't have any major delays right now. Any major delays on Indianapolis Boulevard in Highland between Meyer and Webb Ford. All you got to do is call me or text to 219-845-1100. Lane Mahonia Hora Mahanya. And that traffic is brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda. What do you have in terms of the weather? It's all over the place, but today is a great day. Let's just take a moment and take a deep breath in and go, I live in the Calumet region, and it's been crappy for like 7 months, and today it's going to be 72 degrees and sunny. So, to whatever being that you report, thank you. Let's feel the beauty that is upon us. It is 55 degrees and a kind of a cloud-filled sunrise, but it's going to kind of get out of the way, and it's going to be partly sunny at parts of the day. And if you put your car on auto, like you always want your car at 67 degrees or 69 degrees, my personal favorite is 69 degrees, then your air conditioner may kick on today. So you better have Freon to yourself. You know what I mean? High of 72 today, tomorrow. Cloudy, a thunderstorm and breezy, and a high of 71. And then by Sunday, it's kind of a rainy, nasty weekend. And by Sunday evening, you're talking possible snow, and it gets down into the 20s. So what are you going to do with that, huh? Weather brought to you by our good friends at Carpenter's Local 599. They sponsor the phone lines where I'm going to go right now. All right, that ought to do it. Yesterday, Brittany Semenik, you know her? Out of Highland. Her dad's nickname is Dog. And Dog has been working for NIPSCO. Did he retire? No, I think he's still there. He's still at NIPSCO. And honestly, when you own a radio station, it pays to know people like Dog when the power goes out, and like Rick Kolinsky and Nick Meyer. And I'm on the NIPSCO cap panel. So I've been doing that forever. And part of it is you got to give back just a little bit to the community. And I'm not on, don't ask me to be on any boards, please. I won't do it. But I'm on the cap panel. And Dog is well known throughout NIPSCO just as being a good guy. You know what I mean? He's got a good jovial voice. But the real honor of Dog's life, or one of the honors, is his daughter, Brittany Semenik. She worked with us here at WJOB, and she said, you know what, I need to be in the entertainment business. And she went to Los Angeles knowing nobody. She stays in touch with us here. We should have her on more. But she helps with the red carpet and the Oscars and the Emmys and all that stuff. And she gets little parts that she can do in the entertainment business. She presents really well. She's pretty, and she talks, and she's got a kind of a joyous personality. Well, evidently Steve Harvey has noticed this, and she was on Steve Harvey yesterday, and we're going to hear it right now on the voice and face of the region.
Where's Brittany?
Hey, Steve. So I've had a crush on this guy at the gym that I've been friendly with for like the past year now. I decided I finally wanted to ask him out, so I figured I would look him up on social media and send him a message there. When I went to social media, he had over 1.5 million followers. And so I don't want to be just another girl sliding into his DMs, and it turns out he's actually a successful actor. How do I go about asking him out without it being awkward and without him thinking that it's about his success and fame?
This is the way you should do it. Just say, hey, when you get through working, now, all right, skip it, I'm in. All right. Okay, skip it, you know. Okay, look, I'm in. I've been trying to give the little Christian answer. That ain't working out for me. Dress up like you are today.
Okay.
You look nice. Walk into the gym. You're not working out that day. He's working out. And just say, listen, we've been working out next to each other for a year. After you get through working out, would you like to have coffee up the street at Starbucks? I'm going to be up the street. If you'll just come and join me, I'll be sitting there waiting on you. And then walk away.
All right.
If he comes up there to have coffee, you in. If he don't show, take all that makeup off and carry your ass to the gym.
It was Brittany Semenik, former WJOB personality, giving it to Steve Harvey. And then get your ass to the gym. You know, Brittany looks good. You know, I've never seen her with all dressed up like that. She was all dressed up and she had lipstick on. And her lips were all red and she had makeup on. Have you ever seen her like that, Ryan? Ryan's better friends with her and so forth. All right, anyways, Brittany Semenik, the pride of Highland, Indiana. All right, let's take some phone calls. If I told you guys I had a plan for the next 50 minutes, you would know I'm lying. I've got plenty of things to talk about, but I want to talk to you and see how Fernando's doing. Fernando, can you say your own first name backwards?
F.
No, that's not even close.
I don't know. I'm not dyslexic like you.
All right, Adnan Ref on line 1. So what's going on?
Nothing. It's good to hear from Brittany. I think that's the one that, was it Walt that said she wouldn't get anywhere out there or something like that?
Yeah, didn't Walt say that? He said, you know, you're going to go out there and nothing's going to happen and you're going to come home and that's all that ever happens to young girls that go out there. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Walt is propaganda. Like he says, there's no jobs in Chicago and Chicago's dying. But it was mentioned that Chicago is one of the 4 cities listed, and I forgot what publication, that is gaining so many jobs downtown and so many headquarters are moving to downtown. So he's just like totally off on that. He keeps saying it all the time though, but it's like totally wrong. Maybe they're not taking the South Shore, everyone, to get there, but they're getting there from somewhere.
You know, Walt called me recently, and he calls Harlow a lot more in the afternoon. I have a feeling, to be honest with you, as that what happens to a lot of guys who call for a long time or women, and then they retire, they sleep in the morning. Like my old man. I'm like, Dad, what time you wake up? He's like, about 8:30. I'm like, Dad, you've been waking up at 5 for like 50 years. What happened? I don't know. We watch TV late. And that's what happens with Walt. But so he's probably not listening. But he did have some. Remember when he told my daughter, told her that the only reason that they have easy majors at Purdue that aren't engineering majors is so that women could have something to study?
Yeah, you know, Walt. Well, maybe he'll listen to this on a flashback and he'll be like, oops.
All right, well, maybe so.
Well, who's right all the time anyway? But that's not why I call anyway. But I was calling because I remember that commercial you were talking. I think it started like in the 70s that I saw that Indian guy rowing the boat, or supposed Indian guy.
Yeah, so he's rowing the boat through basically, it almost looks like Indiana Harbor Ship Canal over here. And there's a bunch of garbage, and then he pulls it up onto the garbage-strewn beach, and then he gets out, and then there's a big highway there, and then somebody throws a bag of garbage at his feet, and then they show the tear on his cheek. It's a beautiful commercial.
Yeah, it worked because, you know, I never threw anything out of the car, you know, so it was like, then I started seeing, like, in, I don't know, the 80s sometime, all these people picking up, you know, cans off the street and put them in bags. So they're turning in for cash, whatever. So I actually started throwing my cans out of the car when I had a can of soda or something. I would throw it up because I knew someone would pick it up.
All right, I got one right here.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it was like that was what I was doing.
Yeah, but that, you know what? It's kind of weird. If you threw them out for a certain period of maybe the 70s, you knew that people were going to come by and pick them up. And like the guy said, in Whiting for a time, you were almost expected to throw your garbage onto the sidewalk because someone was coming by and they were going to pick it up. And the same thing happens at the Board of Trade. But I got a guy that just a man or woman just texted in and said, I threw my tamale husks out of my car window yesterday while I was eating lunch. Is that bad?
Well, you know what? A lot of things, too, you have to look at it. What are you throwing out? You know, is it rapidly biodegradable? I mean, is it something that's organic? You know, like your gum. If you threw it on the street, you know, it's probably not going to make a mess. It's probably going to melt. It's probably going to disintegrate real quickly. Whereas if you threw out a plastic bag from a shopping cart or something like that, I mean a shopping center or something, that is probably a lot different than throwing out a gum or something like that. So I guess it depends somewhat.
It
Like I
depends.
said,
all I want is a yes/no out of you. Can you throw your husks out the window while you're driving?
No.
All right. Thanks a lot. Talk to you. 219-845-1100. Bill, how you been?
Good. And, Jed, I'll bet you dollars to donuts that you never told your mother that you threw your garbage on the ground anywhere, or she would have spanked you on the spot.
Yeah, my mom was a little bit, the Polish cleaning thing was there, and it was not accepted to throw anything out of the window except for one thing, her cigarette.
Well, they never threw away food because my grandparents emigrated from Warsaw, and there were times they didn't have anything to eat for days at a time. So I'm sure that's their background, too. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, there's a frugality there, but I think
saw the headline a couple days ago about how our special counsel Mueller had Trump's personal attorney broken into to get records of this affair, alleged affair with Stormy Daniels, a former porn star or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that is?
What?
That's the most wonderful news in the world for President Trump. If the best the special counsel has to connect Trump to the Russians is a washed-up porn star, this guy's got nothing, and it's obvious. He's spending millions of dollars to bust into to get porn star records. I mean, what's next? Is he going to get the Lewinsky, Bubba Clinton records? I mean, it's all partisan as hell, obviously.
Partisan
there's
is
nothing
yes.
to this investigation.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, if you go at any person in America, and you looked at every little thing that they are doing, every little thing, you're going to find some irregularities. And it's like I had a cop explain to me, if you followed somebody for several miles, eventually they're going to do some sort of traffic infraction.
That's right. You're either going to find one or you're going to hire a lawyer to create one.
There you go. Thanks a lot, Bill. Talk to you. Let's go to Vinny on line 599. Vin, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Great hockey game last night with the Penguins. Watched a lot of hockey yesterday. Great. I just want to say for you and Ryan, whoever put that together last night, with the Vegas Knights and the Los Angeles Kings, I turned the sound down on my TV so I can go ahead and listen to it on the radio, and it was just fantastic, Jim.
It's weird. After we had the Frozen Four on, the college hockey championships, there's not anything pressing going on WJOB. What was that, a 9 o'clock start on that game? And Ryan's like, hey, you know what? We have enough people listening now that we can get the games. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead and put them on. And part of it was because it's the Vegas team. The whole country's looking at this team right now.
Well, like I said before, Jim, Marc-Andre Fleury, he got his 63rd win in a playoff, and last night Sidney Crosby got a hat trick, sixth player in the NHL since 2000, got a hat trick, and a lot of good games last night. Winnipeg, over the Wild last night, 3-2. That was a really good game last night. But these playoffs, it's anybody's now. But we're the defending Stanley Cup, and they have to just come through us now.
You got it, man. Vinny and his Penguins. I saw this yesterday. The Vegas Knights. In sports now, there's this metrics thing where they can really analyze everything. They can analyze how fast the guy gets to a puck, how fast he's skating, how fast his shots are. You can really get a speed rating on every little thing they do, and they can add that all up and kind of to a rating of a player and how he or she is, or how he's doing in hockey. And what's the name of the general manager of the Vegas Knights? What's his name? Do you know his name? I forget his name, but they asked him, "Are you using this?" Because there was rumors that they were using these highly specific ways of evaluating players. And all he said was, I'm not telling you what we do. So it looks like perhaps one of the edges that the Vegas Golden Knights have is that they've been able to use all of the new technology to attract and to monitor their players. How do you feel about that?
Every team does it, it's just, with this, like you said, with this new technology now, with, like with the shots and everything, that's what a lot of teams do, and with the Vegas Knights, they use it, to, like for the players, whoever they're playing against, hey, this is what you guys are going to do. And they did it last night. I mean, their defensive players, took Los Angeles out of their game last night. They couldn't really do much. They had, LA had a couple of chances. They didn't, they missed the net. They didn't open net. It happens in hockey.
Hold on a second. When I went to bed, I heard, I was listening to the game a little bit, and it was 1-0 near the end of the second period. Did anybody ever score? Did it end 1-0?
Yeah, it did end 1-0. That's what I was going to get back. That LA had their chances. Doty had a wide open net. He missed it. Shot the puck up. Hit the crossbar. So he. They really took him out of his game and everything. They had a game plan going in. And so they, that's what they did. And with this Vegas Knights team, that's the reason why that they do have a winning record at home and what they do.
Yeah, well, they are the sports story of the year so far. All right, thanks a lot, Vinny. What was that guy's name? He was the GM at the Capitals, and now he went over to the Vegas Knights. George something. But anyways, he's like, I ain't telling you what I'm using and not using. Let's go to Dan on 599 phone line. Dan, how you been?
Hey, how you doing, Jed?
I'm doing all right.
Hey, you're talking about garbage along the roads and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Over here by Kennedy Avenue going towards Chicago Heights, East Chicago. I'll tell you, that one viaduct, they get someone out there to clean up around there. Don't they got community service still or no? Where people get in trouble and then they have to do stuff on the weekends and stuff like that.
Well, where exactly are you talking? Kennedy and Michigan Street? By the way, there was another... Yeah. Hold on a second. By the way, there was another accident last night on Dead Man's Curve. You guys don't know where Dead Man's Curve is. If you know where the East Chicago train station is, and you go towards Klein Avenue, the road turns. Right. It's that turn there, and it's so dangerous, partly because it's flat, or relatively flat, and it's not curved on a bank. But anyways, so so you're talking Kennedy and that viaduct by going over it, or what?
Yeah, Michigan, going under it, you can see all the garbage there. It's unreal. But, back in the day when I used to ride my bike a lot and on country roads and all that, I'd come across like six or seven truck batteries and a whole pile of copper piping.
Yeah.
I went back home and said, hey, Dad, it's all kind of copper piping and truck batteries and all that stuff. So we got in the station wagon. We went over there, picked all the copper piping up, all the truck batteries. Head to Indiana Metals, which ain't there anymore. We're on State Street.
Yeah.
We turned it all in. Got $83 for that back in the 80s.
Hey, listen. Hey, $83 was a lot of money back then. Hey, who is that? A grandkid or what?
No, that's my dog.
Oh, that's your dog? What is your dog? Whines like a kid.
I know. He's like that. It's unreal.
How do you make her whine?
But it's to him. He goes, squirrel. He just looks, tilts his head, he wags his tail. He don't bark.
Oh, he don't bark? He just goes after and gets all excited but doesn't bark?
That's right. He's the one that you go outside, he starts turning around in circles real fast. Jumping and turning around in circles.
Why?
He just gets excited to go outside. And when he goes outside, he don't play with his toys. He's got this big branch in the backyard. He just drags around. 8-foot branch. It's crazy.
So he's just excited to be outside. Is it kind of like when I go out in the morning and I just run up and down Indianapolis Boulevard for no real reason, all excited? Similar. It's kind of same stuff, huh? All right, man. I'll talk to you, Dan. Be right back. AM 1230 WJOB, voice and face of the region. Click.
Rush Radio Surgery deploys revolutionary technology in the fight against prostate cancer in just 5 outpatient treatments. With radio surgery treatment for prostate cancer, there is no pain, no surgery, and you can go back to your normal activities right after treatment. Prostate cancer does not fight fair, and neither should you. For more information, contact Rush Radio Surgery at 312-942-4600 or visit us at rushradiosurgery.com.
No case is typical. Results will vary by patient, and there's no guarantee other patients will experience these results.
Hi, I'm Tom.
And I'm Michelle.
And we're the Tomfoolery Fun Club. We're pleased to announce that Tomfoolery will once again return to the majestic Hoosier Theater in Whiting, Indiana for a very special event.
The Fun Club will be back at the Hoosier for an evening of delightful comedy and some amazing live music.
That's right, Michelle. The incredible Mickey Housley headlines a most talented lineup card of top-flight comedians.
On the musical front, fan favorite Nomad Planets will be in the house to rock the night away.
Please join us on April 14th at the Hoosier Theater in Whiting for this incredible Fun Club night out.
For ticket information, please go to tomfooleryfunclub.com.
That's tomfooleryfunclub.com.
On Friday, April 13th, Corellis Roofing is hosting a career open house for experienced commercial roofers. Take a tour of their office, yard, game room, and their new on-site training center. Qualified candidates will receive on-the-spot interviews. At Corellis, roofing is more than a seasonal job. It's a full-time career with many benefits. Don't miss the opportunity to visit them at 1333 169th Street in Hammond on Friday, April 13th from 3 to 5 p.m. Learn more at Corellis.com.
Hi, this is Ellen from Quick Scripts Pharmacy, and here is your countdown of the top 5 reasons to switch your prescriptions to Quick Scripts in 2018. Number 5, your hometown pharmacy just got bought out by a 3-letter big box chain. Number 4, you go to your pharmacy and don't recognize anyone. Number 3, it takes 3 weeks to get a medication you ordered yesterday. Number 2, they no longer take your insurance and you just found out after you left the emergency room. And number 1, you just really love our staff at Quick Scripts. Wishing you a happy and healthy 2018 from our Quick Scripts family to yours. Stop into any one of our 3 locations serving Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana today.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Marc-Andre Fleury. Knock, knock. Who's there? Marc-Andre Fleury. Say that a bunch of times in a row. Hey, 727 in the Calumet region. I'm Jim Dietlow, host of JED in the region. Taking a look at Tarfik here, 294 around the city. A little bit heavy from Cicero all the way up to 55, but not too bad. 80 going east and west looks good. The Bishop Fode, it's been lighter than normal on this beautiful morning. And if you can hear a little spring in my step, it's just gorgeous out right now. It was nice standing out there, courtesy of Local 395. And it's beautiful here. This whole studio is just, it's like a big fish bowl. We're right on the road. Couldn't ask for more. And I'm just feeling pretty good about the weather right now. And you should too, because we get a high of 72 degrees today. And partly sunny and nice. And then tomorrow high of 71. It gets a little thunderstormy. And then by Sunday night, you got a kind of a nasty weekend. Then by Sunday night, it gets into the 20s and we get possible snow. All right. That is brought to you by Local 41. Taking a look at traffic. We did that already. We started to do that. And really, only thing is a little bit of slowness at the merge going into the Dan Ryan, and then a little bit of slowness on 294. And Jimmy Mullaney, does he have a microphone over there? Can somebody talk to me about the Matt Bush service information? Is that today, or Jimmy's going to post it up on the screen? Matt Bush, the basketball coach over here at Purdue Northwest. I got to know Matt. It's kind of, I don't know. There's not a, I'm 56. He was 62. We could talk about like old coaches and players and so forth that some of the other people that he would see on a regular basis weren't. I mean, there's not that many people in the Purdue Northwest other than John Friend that, really have been around a long time. So we were talking about some of the old teams and games, and Bush was a coach at Morgan Township forever, and he really kind of had a grasp on region basketball, and I thought he was coming back and he was getting healthier, and next thing you know, he just died, and it's a true tragedy here. Like, he had pancreatic cancer, and he's dead at the age of 62. The service is coming up here, Ryan. He's going to post it, or they're going to find it, and we'll get that out of there. Also, I want to talk about a burn that's going to go on in Griffith. They're going to burn some of that old thatch off. But before we do anything, there's some people in the region that deserve more respect than other people in the region. And this woman, for her longevity and her ardent support of her many causes, deserves more respect than just about anybody I know, and that's Gloria on line 599. Gloria, how are you?
Fine, I'm good.
Good. What's going on today?
Well, when you talked about how you threw the newspapers in the lake or whatever, that reminded me when I used to work when I was a young person at the Continental Baking Company, and those cookies start coming down, and they start coming down more and more. It was just a little too much. I had to go.
What, you just couldn't keep up with the pace, or what?
No, it's just, see, when you first get that job, they give you one cookie going down, then you get two cookies, then pretty soon it's three, then pretty soon it's four, then pretty soon the conveyor just goes faster and faster and faster. That was not for me.
Why do I think that looks kind of funny? I'm thinking of you working on a cookie line, kind of like Charlie Chaplin in Modern Times, if anybody remembers that. And then, go ahead.
I saw him yesterday on AMC.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm. And also that Indian you was talking about.
Yep.
Well, on AMC they had an old movie, and they was on the movie set in Hollywood. They used real Indians. And the real Indian was saying, I'm so sick of them having us dance around like damn fools and acting like shaking ourselves. Well, we don't do like this, but we do this just to make our money and make the people feel happy.
Well, yeah, they don't really, I mean, you don't see the average Native American just kind of dancing around a fire with feathers in his head, you know what I mean? But if it makes for a good movie, you got to take the money when it's there, huh?
Well, he said he was a Indian actor, and he's on that. When that AMC music movie program comes on, they always get one of those old timers to tell how it was back in the day, back. And so they talked about this one guy that you talked about. So he wasn't even an Indian.
Iron Eyes Cody. Iron Eyes Cody is his name. Hey, Gloria, I got a question for you. Is Trump going to make it through, or is he involved in a big cover-up?
Well, I really don't talk on that.
Why not?
Because I don't. I leave that for you and your political hackies.
Really? Didn't you used to be a political hacky?
I never was.
Oh, come on.
No, I never was. I just talk on different things that I want to talk on. But you never heard me get on the radio and talk about the presidents.
Hey, I know I'm not supposed to say this because in the new gender roles and so forth, but Debbie Wargo showed me a picture that somehow you showed up on a picture out of like 1981. You were like interviewing somebody for, was it LTH maybe or WWCA? Where'd you work, LTH or CA?
I'll say that again.
Where in the 80s? Where did you work? You did a TV show or something, right? What kind of show was it?
That was public service.
Public service.
That was Gary Cablevision.
Cablevision, and there was a picture of you, and there was a picture, and Debbie's like, "Wow, Gloria was a really beautiful woman," and I'm like, "Yes, she was, and still is." Is that okay for me to say that?
You can say anything you want. It's your radio station. You told people that last week. That you say that you can say anything you want because you own the station.
Well, that's a compliment to you. I was looking. Someone showed me a picture of you from 30-some years ago, and you're smoking hot, okay?
I got plenty of those pictures. But, I worked on the radio station WLNR.
LNR, that's what it was, yes.
That's what WLNR, Illinois.
Yes.
But to get back, the young man that was spinning in the night tube, and you trusted him to do half your paper route.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be a paper person, a paper girl, or a paper thing, because I could see as a young person riding around, and no, you'd have to walk with that sack on your back and give everybody their paper. Back in the day, like the mailman. Back in the day, the mailman delivered mail 3 times a day.
I didn't know that. You're making that up. You're making that up. They just.
No.
Why would you deliver the mail 3 times a day? You only need it once.
They didn't have the automation. They came in the mornings. They came at 12, or maybe it was twice a day. But they had that mail sack on the back of their bag.
One day we just got to talk about like all the old things we don't do anymore. Hey, Gloria, I got to move on to Frank Mervan's show. It's always good to hear your voice.
Okay, tell him I said hello.
I will. Thank you. Hey, we'll be back. We're going to reset Facebook, and we'll be back in 30 seconds with Frank Mervan. See ya.
John